think we're in Franklin County. We started in Streetsboro and we're headed to Stowe, Ohio. But this is somewhere in between. Pretty sure it's New Franklin. It's around here somewhere. Too far north to be in Kent. Might end up there though. Seasons Road. Not really sure where it goes. We'll find out. We missed the sunset. Ravenna Road. Oh, this used to be a 45 too. It's like they lowered all the farm, 2-lane country road. Why is this a 35? So just going for a little cruise on Magna, having a good time. Haven't gone out at night much recently. I like riding at night. It's cold, still like 68, 69 degrees today. It's a nice sunny, well, it was a nice sunny August day. I do like riding at night. Not only are the roads less busy, less crowded, more open, all that wonderful stuff, but you're less distracted because you really only, you can only see where your headlight is. It's like I'm in Hudson now. Anyway, when you can only see where your headlight's pointing, you're not going to be rubbernecking left and right trying to look and see what the sights are. I mean, pretty sure you are, but it's what it is. I don't know, at night the air feels cleaner. Fresh. See, I hadn't planned on this being a long ride because, I just ate and I got a box of carry-out stuffed in my jacket. But I don't know. This road, it's nice. The air smells good tonight. Nobody in front of me. Only one car behind me. Might turn into a long ride. We'll see. How you get the gas? The Stowe Road. Feels like Stowe Road. For some strange reason, the wife gave me permission to go out on a weeknight. It's weird. Met with some dudes, had some wings, good, no drinking. I don't drink and ride. It's stupid. Beers that is too many is any. Never noticed that. So I just noticed that I guess I've never had this bike out at night before. Okay, so I don't know if you can see it or not, but I just saw the line for 55 miles an hour is a different color than all the other lines on the speedometer. guess I wouldn't have noticed that. Oh, if I had known this was a 25, I would have come this way. We would have gone at 303. This is Hudson. One of the fanciest suburbs of Akron. Yeah, I know, that sounds terrible, right? It's actually kind of nice. They're stuck up about it, though. These houses are cost way more than what I think they're worth. What you could get half a mile down the road. Well, okay. These, you can't see, it's too dark. I wanted to talk shit about Hudson, how terrible it is. Can't see. That's not. Anyway, like an identical house in Stowe is like 60% the cost of the house is the same exact house in Hudson. They're even too close together. You still have hillbillies still live here. You see that guy's garage? Filled with neons and black lights. They got fancy street lamps. Fancy roads. They have a town square. They're fancy. I don't think they're better than anybody else though. Though there are some truly nice houses. Some really rich people do live here. They definitely bring up the property values of everybody else, though. I mean, look at their post office. Guess I shouldn't be too hard on them. They have real low crime. You know, all that lovely nonsense. Oh, give me a minute. Get some gas. Maybe we'll ride with this dude here on his SV, an SVS, second gen model. Looks like probably a 05, 06. Let's be friendly. Let's be friendly. Always wanted an SV. A friend of mine had one. Rode it twice, I think. He had an SDS just like that one, actually the exact same color in the blue. Very, I don't know, the styling is like half insect, half transformer, and I love it. Really partial to the tail light, actually. Everything's like the parallel, nice vertical parallel lines. Oh, looks like 650 twin started going. Well, it didn't start the 650 V twin, because that would go to the modern era. That would be the Honda Hawk. Honda Hawk GT, not the 1000. That was a bike that like started the whole like light sporting twin genre. It was cool. A little before my time. They held their ground pretty good. Like I was looking at one of my local dealer a long time ago, and it was expensive. Then again, it had a lot of features that were really nice. the UJM twins, parallel twin 650 class, dominated, destroyed them. Then Suzuki's SB in like 1991. I don't know. Could be wrong. Could be 91. Could be 93. I'm pretty sure it was an odd number. Reinvented the class. 100 extra cc's, probably 15 more horsepower. Great bike. Basically left it unchanged throughout all the 90s until 2001 or 2. And they basically just updated the frame. They went from like a tubular, like an aluminum stamped tubular thing to like an extruded box tubes. They went from round tubes to box tubes pretty much. The first gen frames were kind of weird. The second gen frames were pretty cool. But anyway, they use the same motor all the way. In fact, the same motor is still in production. Now it's got fuel injection and stuff, but it makes all the way through the v65 Gladius, same motor. The 2017 SV650 that they didn't even have it at the demo ride that I went to. That uses the exact same motor. Within 3 horsepower difference, basically the same amount of torque. Great motor. Still used in the V-Strom 650 as well. In that application, it's great. But that's a great bike. Yeah, those are cool bikes. Yeah, so when my buddy had one, he had that at about the same time my other friend had an F3, a CBR F3, the 600 obviously. Don't get me started on that F3. That was a project. Anyway, the SV was like 90% as sharp as this hot rodded 600. It was marginally slower, but I don't know, it was so much more fun. It had mid-range and it sounded good. I mean, not to say that inline fours don't sound good. They do. Especially with straight pipes like that one. Oh. Anyway, enough rambling about the brilliance of the SV. This CBR, I don't know how this never come up before, but this CBR was something. You've seen the other videos. The guy who rides magna, his brother Tim was he wanted a motorcycle because I had a bike and his brother had a bike. So Tim wanted a motorcycle and he was short up on cash, and he was like, "Yo, dude, if you go halvesies on this bike with me, I'll let you ride it whenever you want, and I'll buy out your half before I sell it." So it was like unlimited riding privileges until he paid me back the loan. I didn't have to pay for insurance or anything. I was, yeah, so he put me on the insurance. He paid the taxes, tags, all that nonsense. So I was insured on it, but everything else was his. And we had a written agreement that he would pay me back I forget how much it was. It was like $500 I loaned him. But this bike, I swear to you, this was a 96 frame with a 97 motor, I think. I'd have to look it up, but it was the plastics on it were matched the motor. It was a Smokin' Joe's motor tranny. The hot rodded version, apparently. I don't know. I never really looked it up. But it had Smokin' Joe's plastic on it, and the yellow and purple. And man, the guy we bought it from, I swear, I'm not kidding. He was very urban. His name was Soulja. That was his real name. It was on the title. Soulja. I can't remember exactly how it was spelled, but it ended in J-A. And he was an interesting fellow. So it had plastics were, well, the one side didn't match. But mechanically it was great. It just needed painted and some electrical work. Spike went stink. Straight pipes. Some like gutted name brand can. I forget what it was. Oh, that's a Kawasaki. Big touring bike, the Nomad? Is that what they call that? I forget. Those are cool, one of the 1700 ones. Can't tell what he has. Oh, he's got a Yamaha. We just need somebody to come up on a Suzuki Cruiser, we'll have a set. I don't want to stop riding. I kind of want to just ramble on about shit. That Honda was the fastest bike I'd ever ridden. It was definitely faster than my Cali, my ZR7. I think it was, I don't know, that was a great all-arounder, but it wasn't, I don't know, it wasn't very good at any particular thing. Find a picture of that and slap that up here. Probably won't happen. We'll see. That was. I bought that. It was a record bike. It was a rebuild salvage. It was an 01 and it only had 14K on it. Bought that for $1,500. I think I got ripped off, maybe. Anyway, it's not the ZR7 that you're thinking of, the good fast one. It's the air-cooled motor one. Basically a DOHC JDM motor, the KZ750 motor. Thing made all like 75 horsepower when it left the factory. Probably in the upper 50s, maybe 60s by the time I got it. But it made good low end. It was a very versatile motor. It screamed when you wanted it to scream, and stayed low when you wanted it to stay low. It had, you know, reasonable ergonomics. Nice, fairly upright seating position, slightly forward. Less extreme, less lean forward than my VFR, more lean forward than this, obviously. Kind of reminiscent of a UJM. Steel frame, steel double, what is that? Steel double hung frame, the loops, just like a UJM. Noticing a pattern here. Had a nice big one-piece seat. It had a nice big fuel tank. It was like a 5-gallon fuel tank, and that thing did not really drink gas even when you were really on it. Used to get like, you know, all right, we'll work on the math here. I used to fill up every like 225 miles, and I never hit reserve. And it was like a 5.5. I don't know if you guys saw that or not. It was a 360 Ferrari. Okay, so map it out. like a 5.5 gallon tank. So with a 1 gallon reserve, they gave us 4.5 gallons. So I didn't hit reserve, and I normally went 225 or so miles. Could hit 250 without going to reserve, which would give me like 55 miles a gallon, somewhere in there. Might be harder to get that. I get like 40 when I'm lucky. See, I was too afraid to dig into that bike because it was a quad carb model, you know. And eventually it developed like one of the floats got stuck in the middle, like one of the middle 2 carbs, the float stuck. And so if you weren't like moving, you would drip gas. I mean, not very much, it would evaporate basically as soon as you hit the transmission box, but it was annoying and smelled and stank. It was messy. So there was that. Yeah, so I rode that. That happened, and then I rode it until the tires were bald and the brake pads were done. And then I sold it for $1,200 bucks. I rode that for 2 seasons, maybe 3. Nah, it couldn't have been 3. I had ridden that for 2 seasons. That was my first motorcycle that I bought titled for myself. I bought it on my birthday, and I rode it home. Now you don't know what that means because I haven't told you when my birthday is yet, but it's in January, and I live in Ohio. Just let that sink in. Yeah, I rode it home in the middle of January in Ohio. It was snowing. It was cold. I rode it about 30 miles from Barberton to Stowe. It was a cold day. On the freeway, I had my long underwear on and my flannels, and then my riding gear, and then a parka and like 6 sets of gloves and a bunch of neck gaiters. And I had like my hood up under my helmet. Now it wasn't actually snowing like coming down right then, but there was snow like on the side of the road. Everything was salted. Should have seen the looks on people's faces when I was riding that thing down Route 8. You know, actually, you should have seen the look on the guy's face when I told him I'd ride it home. He was waiting for me to like, when are you gonna come pick it up in the truck? And I was like, give me the keys, I'm riding it home. He was like, what the hell? Are you crazy? And then he gave me the paint code. Like he thought he was sure I was gonna fight it that day. I never actually fell at speed on that bike. Only time that bike ever touched pavement was when I was being an idiot and I rode it. So my parents' house has a sidewalk that goes like around the side of the yard, around to the back of the garage, to like this patio. And I was like, well, I don't want to park in the driveway. I'm only gonna be here like 5 minutes. And I didn't want the neighbors seeing the bike because my folks didn't know I rode and they weren't home. You know how that is. So I rode down this little tiny, went around the side of the driveway, rode down this tiny little sidewalk. Not even as wide as like a regular sidewalk. This thing was like 3 feet across. And it's got a couple bends in it. And one of the bends I like took a little too tight and the back wheel went into the mulch. And at that point I fell over at 0 miles an hour in the slowest fall ever. I can't even like describe how slow I fell over. It was just like you know when you know you're falling and you put your hands up and you grab something and you're trying to hold yourself up, but it's too late. You've passed the point of no return and strong enough to prevent yourself from falling, you just slow it down. That's what happened. Like, I had one leg underneath the thing trying to hold it up, and it just wasn't happening because I was too late and too far over when I got it, and I ended up just slowly toppling over. No damage to the bike. The paint didn't get chipped. Oddly enough, the brake lever, because it was on the right side, obviously. The brake lever, like, instead of bending, it just like broke the little ball end off, so it like just chopped it. And I was like, I always intended to replace it, but then I kind of liked the shorty lever. It was nice. It didn't vibrate as much as the long one did. I just left it. The pipes were already scuffed because it'd been a record before the Doom. I bought it from and fixed it up, painted it. P&T Cruiser Gray. It was, I don't know if you know what that means. Probably not. It was like this sweet, like, gunmetal gray, like, muscle car looking color. Like the kind of gray silver you expect to see like a Dodge Challenger or a 5-liter Mustang. It was cool. It was cool. It was a good learner bike. Oh well. It wasn't my first bike ever. But it was the first bike I put a lot of miles on. When I say a lot of miles, I put 7,000 miles on that in 2 summers. I mean, that doesn't sound like a lot, but to bikers, that's a lot. Like, NADA puts average ride use as like 1,100 miles a year. So I was like tripling that. The coolest thing about it, and the reason I kind of wanted another air-cooled motor, is with the dual overhead cams and the 4 valves, the OHC motor, and air-cooled, you could like hear the valves. You could hear the valve train real well. It was like tick 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 at idle until the engine warmed up fully. It was cool. Well, I hope you enjoyed this little get to know me